What up, though? Happy 2025 to everybody. Definitely had to tap in, man. Y'all see the title of this, man. Definitely had to tap in on this one, man. And just get some thoughts and some opinions of some of the viewers. Had to tap in and see what y'all think, regarding these two terrorist attacks. Potentially three. I'm going to say the one to be able to link all three of them together. Right now, I'm damn sure calling it as two being linked together for sure. Just based off of all of the evidence that's came forward, things that we do know, things that we don't know. We're going to dive right into it, man. Y'all know how we do. Y'all can run it up in the chat with us. Y'all can always join us, on the phone call as well by calling 818-659-5053. Tap in, let your voice be heard. But we're going to get into it, man. Play a couple of these videos regarding these terrorist attacks, the one in New Orleans and then the one in Las Vegas. And I really just feel it's, key to really touch up on this and give everybody a platform where they can speak to see if, you are the only ones feeling like this or are we thinking like-minded. If you are in the room, make sure you do bang that like button for us. It goes a long way in the algorithm of YouTube to get this video out to other like-minded people as well. Like I want to say first and foremost, though, Happy New Year 2025 to everybody. It's just crazy that we started our new year on the first day with this shit happening right here. The very first day of the new year, we didn't even allow it to the second for something like this to happen. So I'm doing this with the expectation, to see if anybody else is thinking like-minded. If we're thinking alike, if we're not thinking alike, but if you are entering the room, make sure you hit that like button, bang that subscribe button as well, man, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. We're going to get into, showing the presentation and everything, get everything set up for y'all, and we're going to get it cracking. I do hope everybody had a wonderful, holiday weekend, been able to spend time with family, locking in, had a blessed New Year's. But it's just unfortunate, man. We come to walking in right to the new year of 2025, and the first day of the new year, we get this news. So to me, like I said, something's not adding up here. I want y'all to drop in the comments below and think, and just let me know what y'all think. You know what I mean? Let me know if y'all thinking the same way that I'm thinking, but it's just suspicious. Didn't even allow it a couple of days into the new year. We get straight to the new year, 4:00 that morning. You know what I mean? The shit popped off in New Orleans, and then the shit popped off here in Las Vegas. You know what I mean, too. So it makes you wonder, what's really going on. We got drones flying around. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of stuff that's transpiring right now, and I'm just trying to make it make sense. So if you are like-minded like me, make sure y'all drop in them comments. So definitely run it up on a phone call with us. We're going to go ahead and play this video real quick. And hopefully, man, we get some feedback of the updates of everything that happened. So here we go. Let's get it.
Investigation. As you look at this Cybertruck here, we had to transport this down to our fleet services so that we could really get through this thing. And I remind you that the subject inside wasn't able to be removed for a very long period of time because he was burnt beyond recognition. And so as we continue to move through this, I'm going to talk a little bit about his identity and what we believe, but I would like to highlight a couple of things that the teams found inside of the Cybertruck that are useful to the investigation. And that first and foremost is a military identification. We also found a passport. We found a Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And if you'll notice on a lot of these guns that we're going to talk about here, they're almost just burnt beyond recognition as well.
Speaking of burnt, man, I want to show the actual video surveillance that did transpire from that, so you guys get a better understanding. If you haven't seen it, I know it's been all over the news, worldwide. Definitely want to give condolences to anyone that may have gotten injured or had somebody in in that ended up passing away or dying from that, man. It's just unfortunate events that we crack into the new year of 2025 and we're facing this right down the barrel. You know what I mean? To me, it makes no sense. To me, something's definitely not adding up here. But you know, that's like I said, that's just my thoughts and my opinions on that. But before we get started on that video, let me go and I want to share the actual video surveillance of the actual Tesla truck burning, which to me was kind of odd too. Just everything that transpired, everything that was going on. We're gonna make it make sense, y'all. Check it out.
Taking a live look at Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where a man from Houston intentionally plowed a pickup truck into a crowd just hours into the new year. Investigators are calling the incident an act of terror. And officials say at least 14 people and the driver are dead. Dozens more were injured. Investigators believe the attack may have been inspired by ISIS. We caution some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, the careful work of gathering evidence continues just over 24 hours after carnage on New Orleans' most famous street. New video shows the speed of the pickup truck that plowed into people, killing at least 15 and injuring many more.
We have dozens of people that got hit by this car.
Surveillance video shows the truck flying an ISIS flag coming down Canal Street around 3:15 a.m. before turning onto Bourbon and speeding into the crowd.
We ran one way, so like about 5 feet away from the curb, and
Lamar Jackson's little brother,
to be protected by the little divot.
Authorities identifying the suspect as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar.
Shamsuddin Jabbar. Now they deeming this dude a black man, or what? Is they deeming this dude a brother? Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42 years old.
U.S.-born citizen and Army veteran from Texas, who they say was inspired by ISIS to kill.
Now keep in mind, too, this guy is a U.S. citizen, and not to mention, he is an Army veteran as well. So y'all keep that in mind, you know, when it comes to that, because I'm gonna definitely connect the dots later on as to what's what. You know, and how it really ties into what I'm talking about here. But let's get back to the video.
They say he was speeding down Bourbon wearing body armor and firing an AR-style rifle out of the truck, racing about 3 blocks before crashing, stepping out and opening fire again, wounding 2 police officers. Inside that rented Ford F-150, authorities say they found multiple homemade pipe bombs packed.
All right, now check this out. I want y'all to keep this in mind. Why is it every time that something go down? We could go back to the Boston Marathon, y'all, to be honest with you. We can go back to the Boston Marathon and when they had the homemade pipe bombs with the nails in it. Why does every time something happen, this is what is being used to harm or hurt people? First off, I want y'all to make that make sense. You sit back for a minute, man, and think about it. You feel me? Think about it for a minute and actually listen to what I'm saying. Why is it every time that something like this happens where it's a terrorist attack, they use kind of the same stuff? Is this not what they did in the bombing and in the Boston Marathon bombing? Pipe bombs with nails? So, I mean, come on, man. We keep doing the same thing over and over like this shit is becoming repetitive. And I don't know if I'm the only one that sees it, and I'm not trying to say, you know, exactly that, but what I'm saying is just look at the research. Look at it on your own, see what you come up with, see what you see for yourself. But to me, every time something happens from the Boston Marathon, you know, to wherever else, it's always the pipe bombs with the nails, and that really cracks it off. So let's get back to the video, though.
With nails, sources tell ABC News on that flagpole is a black flag bearing the ISIS insignia.
And another thing, man, while we talking about this, if they knew this and they seen that on this truck, you mean to tell me nobody spotted this out while this white truck was driving down Bourbon Street in New Orleans? Do you honestly mean to tell me that somebody did not see this big black ass flag on the back of this pole with this ISIS insignia logo on it? And another thing, since when do you know for a brother to be rocking with ISIS or do some crazy shit like this? Because normally we've been seeing some, you know, mostly it's whites or, you know, Caucasians for sure that's locking in. But okay, now we inquiring the brothers into the ISIS, Shabazz or whatever this dude name is, who don't even look like a brother, to be honest with you. But nobody's seen this big black coat looking thing with this ISIS insignia on there around where this football game was supposed to be played at, heavily orchestrated with cops, you know, police officers, undercover agents. So you mean to tell me nobody seen this on the back of this truck? Nobody called that in and say, hey, we see an ISIS flag hanging off the back of this white truck. Everybody was so engaged in what they were doing, they didn't even pick it up. That's a red flag to me. You know what I mean? This is just like having a red flag on the back of your truck when you have, you know, some heavy equipment on there and you want people to know. You put that red flag on the back of the vehicle to let people know. I don't know how in the hell the police officers, undercover agents, citizens did not see this flag on the back of this truck on this pole, by the way, which is sitting almost, it looks like 4 or 5 inches above that bed of the truck. So you got to make that make sense, man. So if they're showing this, how did nobody else see this and was able to kind of stop this or prevent this from happening by making a phone call? Like, look, we got a truck driving, whoever was behind the truck. It could have been somebody behind the truck, directly behind the truck, that could have seen it and called it in. Well, he's driving reckless. He does have a black flag on there with the ISIS insignia. I know everybody has not forgotten about this, about the ISIS situation. So, I mean, if you're looking at it from my perspective, these are the things that I'm looking at. You know, the pipe bombs with the nails, you know, the black flag on this big-ass pole on the back of this truck, and nobody seen this coming. Like, nobody seen this. Let's get back to the video, though, man. We're going to make it make sense. We're going to put it all together, and hopefully we get a caller or two in, man, that be able to chime in with us and run it up, man, because I want everybody to kind of engage in this, because I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And that's what we do over here on this show, man, on this podcast. We keep it 100. We keep it a buck. You know what I mean? So y'all can run it in the chat. If y'all have anything that y'all want to say, y'all can run it in the chat. Or y'all can call us at 818-659-5053. Tap in. If you don't want to give us your name, give us an alias. You feel what I'm saying? We just appreciate everybody that is appreciating us and that's rocking with us at the end of the day. Let's get back to this video, though.
Insignia. A fire at an Airbnb near Bourbon Street yesterday morning is now reportedly being linked to Jabbar. Officials say it appears explosive devices associated with the attack were made at that property. Officials say steel bollards installed on the street.
Hold up. We got a caller, man. We got a caller. Caller, state your name, where you from.
Trey from New York.
What up, man? What's up, Trey from New York, man? What you calling in for today? Obviously, you do see what's going on in the world right now. You know, with the situation with Las Vegas, you got the situation with New Orleans. Man, pop it off and let us know what it is. What's on your mind?
I feel like they coming out with a bang, and they trying to show people. They trying to just show people that they here and they coming. But they blew up the Cybertruck with the fireworks and all that. And then you also got the in New Orleans.
Yes, sir. It was in New Orleans.
Sports. We drove over the people.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I definitely agree with you, Trey. You know what I gotta say is, and I definitely agree with you 100%. You're definitely going out with a bang. That's for damn sure. But you know what I want to ask you is, do you find it suspicious that this happened on the very first day of the new year? We didn't even transition from 2024 from December 31st until 2025 on the next day. This happened the night of New Year's Eve leading into New Year. So what's your thoughts about that? You know, how fast this happened with it being the first of the year already, and we get a crazy event like this.
Yeah, they are trying to show us what to expect for 2025. Because and the fact that they did it before 2025,
Yes, sir.
crazy years.
Yes, sir, man. I definitely agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you on that one. You know, it's to me, I look at it like this, man. And Trey, I look at it like this. You had the Boston Marathon bombing, and I was just kind of talking about that, you know, as I got started on the video. And it seems like to me they're using the same tactics every time things like this happen. They use the pipe bombs with the nails. They're trying to harm people. You know, the funny thing about this one, though, Trey, is it really links together. It makes you wonder because the title of this video is, you know, they're linked together. So do you feel like the incident in Vegas and the, you know, the incident in New Orleans is, you know, together? Do you feel like that happened together? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like they was linked together because, you know, they happened on the same day, on the first New Year. And, you know, New Orleans and Vegas, they're very big cities. So,
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of public there.
Yes, sir.
I feel like that they're doing that, they're trying to make a statement.
Yes, sir.
Cities like New Orleans or Las Vegas. So, like I say, I think it's very suspicious what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. I agree with you 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you definitely calling in and running it up with us. And just giving your input, man, because everybody's input matters on this channel, and that's what we do this for. You know what I mean? We're hoping that we get callers to call in and run it up with us, man, and really give us a perspective other than, you know, me just talking on the mic and running it up. People got to understand that these two events are linked together. And a couple of key things while I got you on the line, things that I find suspicious, Trey, is, you know, both of these guys were in the Army. It just so happens, if I'm doing the research, both of these guys were in the same platoon in the Army, if I'm saying that correctly, or based on the same base or station. Yeah, very suspicious, very suspicious. Then thirdly, both of them use Turo. So if you don't know what Turo is, if anybody doesn't or not familiar with what Turo is an app where you can rent cars. Both of these cars that these people were driving with the Cybertruck in Vegas and then that white pickup truck in New Orleans, they both were rented from Turo. So what's your thoughts on that? So does that really clarify and make you say, okay, this is really connected? Or does it say, no, it doesn't lead no connection at all?
Yeah, I feel like that really shows everything up because, you know, like you said, they both armies from the Army, you know, served for USA. And, you know, Donald Trump got something to do with it, including that. Yeah, you know, them both ordering their cars from Toro, that really, you know, sets it off.
Yeah, it does set it off for sure, man. I just think it's too much of a connection right there. And I never known for brothers to be a part of ISIS now. So, but this brother's name was Shabazz, or whatever his name was. And I'm trying to connect the dots here. Stuff's not adding up. But man, we definitely appreciate you, you know, calling in and chiming in and weighing in on what you had to say.
No problem.
What's that?
No problem.
Oh, man, we appreciate it, man, all day. Anything else you want to say regarding the show?
Well, no, that's about it.
Well, look, man, again, you said Trey, right?
Yeah.
Trey, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. This is One Buck Podcast, and y'all going to get the real, you get the information where y'all can actually call in, chop it up, run it up. Anything regarding the show that you like or dislike, or things that you feel like we could, you know, do better on the platform?
No, so far, you know, I like the show. I like what y'all bring to the table. And, you know, I like how you interact with people in your show. So keep doing what you're doing, because I feel like y'all got a good thing going on.
Man, appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that, my good brother. For real, for real. And make sure you stay subscribed, man, and turn that notification bell on so when we do go live, you know what I mean, we can run it up. I'd love to have you back on the show again. Appreciate you, my guy. Happy New Year's to you and yours, and stay blessed, okay?
All right, man.
All right. Peace out. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, now, one love. So y'all heard it right there, man. We got our first caller called in, Trey. Trey tapped in, man. Really has some, some insight on what's going on in the world right now, too. Not just from my perspective, but I want y'all to hear from other people's perspective, too. And it takes a lot, man, to call in and let your voice be heard at the end of the day. It really does, man. A lot of people need to mic up. And we in a society right now where we're living, we got unfortunate events happening all the time. It's very unfortunate event that had to happen, in New Orleans, of course, and then it happens in Vegas too. You got to make that make sense, man. So definitely appreciate him calling in, tapping in. If you're new to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. You can run it up. It's 818-659-5053. Tap in. If you're trolling, you're going to troll on up out of here. We ain't rolling with it. But if you're coming in with some fat on your head and you want to talk just like Trey did, the last caller that called in, you got something to say and really it's making sense, we gonna bring you in and let you spit your spill. You feel what I'm saying? But if you on here running it up and you negative and you a troll, you can miss me with that shit, man, because we talking real live events right now, and I just want to know what everybody thinks about this. Are these two events linked together? Well, it makes 100% that hell yeah, they are linked together. And again, here's why. Both of the guys are from the same platoon or the same army base, or whatever you want to call it. Both of these guys also use Turo to rent these vehicles. That's another suspicion. One used the vehicle, the Cybertruck in Las Vegas, and the other rented a vehicle, which is a white Dodge Ram pickup truck. They both rented those for Turo as well. Again, they're from the same camp, and they both have military background. So you make that make sense. And another thing, we're going to dive back into this video. Hopefully we get another caller. And if you want to call the show, drop in the chat if you got any questions. If you don't want to drop it in the chat, 818-659-5053. Let's get back to this video, man, and give y'all some more of why I think this is a little suspicious. Y'all see right here, they got these barriers. In this video right here, they specifically say about these barriers that, they were getting worked on. I think they were under construction for the Super Bowl coming up. So my question is, man, you got to be a smart individual to know that these are being worked on so that you could turn your truck down here, drive these down these two pillars right here, and be able to drive through and run down Bourbon Street. So I want to know this is another tip. How in the hell did they know to turn down this street where this construction was, quote unquote, being redid for the Super Bowl in order to take that big ass white pickup truck and drive it down Bourbon Street and start smacking people? How did they know that? They just picked a random street and they knew that this was being worked on. It doesn't even look like there's any construction around it, honestly. But how did they know that? But let's listen to the video on what they got to say. Appreciate my boy Trey for calling in, man. Appreciate that. Let's get back to the video.
Were unreliable and were in the process of being replaced ahead of the Super Bowl in February. Vehicles had been placed as blockades, but there were gaps.
We had barriers there. We had officers there.
Let's bring that back one more time now.
February.
This is key right here. Like,
those
if you driving around with this pickup truck and you see and you know all this is going on, how in the hell do you know to turn down this street right there where this so happens that they're working on these barriers that you could just drive over them without anything, without even knowing nothing? This is orchestrated. This is very orchestrated. Let's get back to it one more time.
Property. Officials say steel bollards installed on the street were unreliable and were in the process of being replaced ahead of the Super Bowl in February. Vehicles had been placed as blockades, but there were gaps.
We had
steel ballers. So you're telling me that steel ballers were right there and that they knew to drive down this street on Bourbon Street, that these were not going to be reliable, and they were able to bust through these in a white truck and just start driving people over. Okay, man, like I said, anybody else want to drop in the comments below or call in and spill your spill? Because to me, that's not making no sense. There's a million streets in the USA. You just so happen to pick the right street to turn down and start killing people. So they either had to know for a fact that they knew about this street and they knew about those barriers that were weak and they could just drive through them, or definitely this was a planned, orchestrated hit. Back to the video.
Barriers there. We had officers there, and they still got around. So we did indeed have a plan, but the terrorist defeated it.
So they showing the whole spiel right here. They showing the Bourbon Street alleyway and everything. You see how tight it is right here. You know, I'm assuming that those barriers were back off here behind that other white truck. That truck drove down there and just started driving people over, and then got out and started opening fire. Keep in mind now, he did have the pipe bombs with the nails in it, just as they did for the Boston Marathon bombing.
City officials say they questioned the construction timeline, wondering why the replacement didn't happen months ago.
This construction should have happened much earlier, and everything really should have been ready and in place, fixed, repaired, ready to go now.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Man, now look, that's even more confirmation to me. I can't make any of this stuff up. But even the city official just said, why was that not attended to and taken care of months before this situation? So does that kind of let y'all know too, if you're thinking in the back of your head like I'm in, like, okay, well, if they knew that, then obviously somebody else, I don't know if they knew that or if they got intel or some type of information as to where to know to turn down this street and drive down this street. It'd be free will to open up and just start driving over people. Bro, you can't make it make sense, man. You cannot make that make sense, man. And I'm going to go back and say this. They saying this dude is a black dude. I'm not sure, but I ain't never heard of no dude named like this, Shabazz, whatever his name is.
Din Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen, Din Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen and Army veteran from Texas, who they say was inspired by ISIS to kill. They say he was speeding down Bourbon wearing body armor and firing an AR-style rifle out of the truck, racing about 3 blocks before crashing, stepping out and opening fire again, wounding 2 police officers. Inside that rented Ford F-150, authorities say they found multiple homemade pipe bombs packed with nails. Sources tell ABC News.
And this is another thing, man. We're going to switch the narrative and hit this Vegas video up, bro. He drove 3.5 miles. Y'all see how far that was? So you mean to tell me that there was the only barriers in the road? And I've personally been down to to New Orleans myself. And I've seen down there on Bourbon Street. And there's multiple barriers. There's not just one barrier. So this one barrier just happened to be getting worked on, and there's no other barriers that this truck could have ran into for 3.5 miles before he rolled into the Bourbon Street and crashed that truck, that Ford F-150. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We're going to switch this narrative real quick, and we're going to go to this Las Vegas video. Y'all drop in the comments what y'all think. If you don't want to drop in the comments, call in, run it up, run it up, run it up, man. We need to talk about this, man. We definitely got to talk about it, you feel me? And make it make sense. Got to talk about it, man. Go back to this video.
There's an SLR model B30 semi-automatic firearm. Number of fireworks that were still in the vehicle that had to be removed. Notably, we found an iPhone and a smartwatch, and then several credit cards were also in the name of our subject. Our subject is 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger. He's of Colorado Springs, Colorado, born July 22nd of 1987. Now, as you'll see here on a picture of his driver's license, let's see, the question really still remains for me, and I know that there's a lot of you folks in the media that are identifying this person as the person in our vehicle. As I mentioned to you already, his body is burnt beyond recognition, and I do still not have confirmation 100% that that is the individual that was inside of our vehicle. And so as I'm calling it now, the subject or person of interest, I will not come back until I have the confirmation through DNA or medical records that this is indeed, in fact, the subject inside of the vehicle. Now, further complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle. Obviously, in how we're trying to identify him, and I'm feeling comfortable to give you this information, is a tremendous amount of substantial evidence, to include he rented the Turo vehicle. There are two tattoos,
Again,
one of which was on the stomach,
rented from
one of which was
Toro.
on the
Now, so
arm,
I got to
that
keep
we
that
can
in
see
mind.
bits and pieces of it as in comparison to what it is that we now know he had on his body. That has given us a lot of confidence that this is, in fact, the same person, as well as which the clearly obvious, which is the credit cards, the military identification, the passport. And then furthermore, as you'll see here in just a very short period of time, we tracked his movements from Colorado to Las Vegas. And in a number of the photographs that we were able to determine, he was the individual that was driving the vehicle. And also, I'd like to iterate this point to you. We still have only ever seen him in this vehicle, and we're not aware of any other subjects involved in this particular case. Vegas,
speed up a little bit, man.
7:29.
We gonna speed up. They tracking his whole
Kingman,
movement.
Arizona.
So y'all peep this now. They tracking his whole movement from where he came from to where he's going.
We last tracked the truck in Kingman at 05:33 yesterday morning. The truck was first spotted in Las Vegas at 7:29 a.m. yesterday. And Carlos will pull up a picture of the truck pulling onto Fashion Show Drive here. And that picture was observed at about 7:34 a.m. We know that he pulled into the Trump Valet. I believe we have a video of that. You can see the Cybertruck highlighted there.
Chilling. But he kept going. He didn't stop. He just pulled in. So at this point, he didn't even stop. He must have rolled by to check out the scenery or whatever the hell he was trying to do. But they're deeming it as, okay, he drove all the way from Colorado. I think Colorado to Vegas is almost like a 10-hour trip or something like that driving. So you telling me this dude got in this Cybertruck, rented this Cybertruck, drove it all the way from Colorado Springs all the way to Las Vegas in a 10-hour drive just to come up here and to Las Vegas in that area to try to blow something up? Why not rent a truck from Vegas? Why not just fly here to Vegas, rent the truck from Vegas, and then do that? Why are you driving 9 hours from Colorado Springs? But all right. And then he pulls in and leaves.
So through extensive surveillance video, we were able to track him leaving there, and we know that he went to several different places along Las Vegas Boulevard, and he spent some time in a parking lot of a business near Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. We didn't have a video of the truck pulling back onto Las Vegas Boulevard from the Sands.
Bellagio.
See that there? That's north on the boulevard from Sands at 8:39, where he then immediately heads to the Trump Hotel, pulls into the valet area, and as of course you all know, the explosion occurs within 17 seconds of his arrival at the valet. There's some additional investigative updates that are going to be provided to you by a couple of the other speakers here, the first of which will be our special agent.
Yo, that's crazy, man. We live in unfortunate times right now, man. My heart goes out, condolences goes out to the families that lost loved ones. Very unfortunate times, man. To have a brand new year come in and then not even a day into the new year, something like this happens. I just wanted to get on here, man, speak my spiel, you know what I'm saying? And see if anybody else is like-minded like me and felt the same way. There's a lot going on in the world right now, man. You got to stay on your P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, cross your T's and dot your I's. For real, man, because you got to keep your head on a swivel out here. Now, you never know with the drone situation, with with the terrorist attacks arising. And we can't forget about New York. New York just had a mass shooting, and they're saying that they're not deeming that as an actual terrorist attack, but they're trying to say it may be gang related. I think by the end of it, I think it all lines up because everything kind of happened at the same time. Everything has the same time frame. And these are things that you got to look at, you know what I mean, when stuff like this has happened. It's the timeline of events. Okay, you had Vegas transpire, of course, but before Vegas, you had New Orleans transpire. Then you had Vegas, and then you had New York. So like my man Trey that called in said, these are big cities. These are very big cities that have a lot of main attractions in them where there will be a lot of people, a lot of people walking and having a good time. New Orleans, New York, and Las Vegas. Very big places, lots to do there. A lot of main attractions. So you got to look at that, man. And it was the same way with the Boston Marathon bombing, similar, very similar. So you keep in mind, man, you got to stay with your head on the swivel out here. Y'all definitely stay blessed up and pray up, man. We live in the times now where you never know anything can happen. You got a lot of different stuff shifting. And to me, it's always around election time in the new year. So if you're like-minded like us and you rocking with the show, drop in the comments below that you rocking with the show. If you want to call in, y'all know the number 818-659-5053. Don't be shy. Tap in. Voice your opinion. Say what you got to say, man, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of other people that are thinking the same way as you are. And sometimes it takes individuals to speak up and just speak up what they thinking on their mind for somebody else to come out and say, hey, you know what? This dude is absolutely right. Or she's absolutely right. It makes a ton of sense. To me, when I'm looking at this, the very first day of the new year, and as soon as the new year cracks off and we get terrorist attacks, all of a sudden we haven't had anything since Viet-19. And then all of a sudden the very first night of the year, leading from 4 o'clock on, we get a terrorist attack in one area of the United States, in New Orleans, at one of the biggest events, at a bowl game. And then we turn around and we get that again in Nevada, in Las Vegas, on one of the busiest streets on the boulevard, probably in the world. And then, not to mention that, we get the next day, which is today, we get the mass shooting outside New York's club. So, just piecing everything together. Y'all look at it, man. Look at the times that we in, man. Stay prayed up. Stay blessed. Keep your head on the swivel. Dot your I's and cross your T's and stay on your P's and Q's, man. Y'all can see it's a lot of movement right here. And I only think that it's only going to get worse. If this happens on the first day of the new year, buckle your seatbelts, man. Again, my condolences to the families that lost loved ones or anybody that was hurt or injured. Never doing this to, make fun of anybody or, this is a serious moment. And I'm just trying to look at it from the bright side of my perspective of how we are thinking and see if there's any like-minded people that are thinking the same as well. But like I said, man, if y'all rocking with the show, drop in them comments below. If you're rocking with the show, call in. If you're rocking with the show, just say you rocking with the show. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us. Y'all can tell a friend to tell a friend. We can all get on here and run it up. You know what I'm saying? On this show, we don't care about who's right or who's wrong. We can take your opinion because we're big on opinions. Everybody should be able to have your opinion to agree or disagree. But not to the point where it's an argumentative situation or an argumentative state of mind where we can't get along and just hear each other out. I think that's what's wrong with the world right now in general anyway, if you just asking me. People be in their feelings about stuff too much. They don't understand the way the world works. I think you understand more by taking people's opinions and listening to them and actually hearing what they got to say. That's just my personal opinion. We can always agree to disagree, but please don't come on this platform if you are calling in with no disrespect, because we ain't tolerating none of the fuckery at the end of the day. But we do appreciate everybody that's running it up and joining us live. Appreciate, again, shout out to Trey. We got our first caller that called in. Appreciate you, my guy. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate your words of wisdom, telling us to keep it going, that you like what we doing and what we putting down. We just need to get it spread out more so everybody in the world can hear us too, and then be able to call in and run it up. So again, man, Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody stay blessed. Stay woke, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay thirsty, my friends, because it's getting crazy out here. But look, we're going to catch y'all on the next one. Go check out the YouTube shorts we got. We drop shorts daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times daily. We will be going live daily every day, roughly around the same time. We just want to engage with everybody, man, and just hear your thoughts, man. Again, prayers out to the victims. Y'all stay blessed up, man. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay woke and stay thirsty, my friends. Until the next time, peace.